Dale, estoy bien. and every one of you who are here. We are here this morning for the Wreath-Laying ceremony for the Right Excellent Joseph Paramount Chief Joseph Chatoyer. Before we get started though, ladies and gentlemen, with each and everything that we do, we of course must give thanks to our Heavenly Father for the reason why we are here today. We'll start off this morning's proceedings with the opening prayer by Reverend Paul Duncan at this time. Please, ladies and gentlemen, your reverence.
Good morning to everyone. Let us reverence the Holy Father this morning. Holy God, we thank you, for this is a blessed day. And Father, as we have come this very day, not just to celebrate, but to recognize those who have defended this country, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Hiruna, land of the blessed. And dear Father, it is with much pleasure that we take this opportunity, that we look back in history. For if we do not know where we are coming from, then how can we know where we are going? So we thank you, dear Father, for today's proceedings. May everything be done in honor and glory to your name. We hand over this momentous occasion into your hands, thou art Lord and thou art God, and thank thee as you continue to bless St. Vincent and the Grenadines, our blessed land. We thank thee in Christ's name. Amen.
I ask you to remain standing in your reverence for the national anthem of St. Vincent and the Grenadines to be performed by the Fancy Government School. And of course, it will be performed in the English version first by Miss Ivana Lewis, ladies and gentlemen.
St. Vincent, land so beautiful, with joyful hearts we pledge to thee our loyalty and love, and vow to keep you ever free. Whatever the future brings, our faith will see us through. May peace reign from shore to shore, and God bless and keep us true. Hirun are fair and blessed all your mountains, high so clear and green, are home to me, though I may stray a haven calm serene. Whatever the future brings, our faith will see us through. May peace reign from shore to shore, and God bless and keep us true. Our little sister islands are those gems, the lovely Grenadines, upon their seas and golden sands the sunshine ever beams. Whatever the future brings, our faith will see us through. May peace reign from shore to shore, and God bless and keep us true.
Once again, we ask you to kindly remain reverent and standing as we'll now have the national anthem rendered in Garifuna by the Fancy Government School. Thank you very much, the students of the Fancy Government School. You may be seated, ladies and gentlemen. Your Excellency, Stanley Storkey K. John, Governor General of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, the Honorable Dr. Godwin Friday, Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and Mrs. Friday, the Honorable Senator Carlos James, here on behalf of the Leader of the Opposition, the Honorable Kashaka Cupid, Minister of Youth, Sports, Culture, and the Creative Industries, other members of Cabinet, other members of Parliament, members of the Diplomatic Corps, Mr. Garibaldi Paslanio, President of the International Garifuna Council, and other members of the Garifuna community, Mrs. Joan Hoyt, President of the SVG Indigenous People Association, Inc., senior public servants, other specially invited guests, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen. A pleasant good morning and welcome to each and every one of you here at Dorsetshire Hill at the Obelisk, as of course for the official Wreath-Laying ceremony for the Right Excellency Joseph Chateaudet, Paramount Chief of the Garifuna. Once again, a pleasant good morning to each and every one of you, and welcome. We, of course, are here to pay homage to one of our national heroes. Throughout St. Vincent and the Grenadines and the Garifuna Nation, we celebrate his legacy and his leadership. With that being said, we have some cultural performances here for you today, as well as speeches from various dignitaries. Without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, with our first performance, we have a cultural presentation for St. Vincent and the Grenadines from the Grenadines Drum Foundation. Most of you would have heard them as you made your entrance here at the Obelisk this morning. At this point in time, I would like to welcome representatives of the Garifuna Heritage Foundation, and I'd like to welcome to the podium, first, ladies and gentlemen, Mrs. Joan Hoyt, the president of the SVG Indigenous Peoples Association.
Bear with me 1 second, please. Thank you. First of all, it's really hard to read against the sun. Hi. Yes. Thank you. Honorable Dr. Godwin Friday, Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Honorable Siobhan John, Minister of Social Welfare and Ecclesiastic Affairs, Community Empowerment and National Heritage. The Honorable Sir, the Honorable Governor General, Mr. John. Honorable Ministers of the Government of St. Vincent, the Diplomatic Corps, other dignitaries, members of the returning Garifuna diaspora, representatives of the local indigenous communities, fellow Vincentians, good morning. It is an honor to stand before you to represent the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Indigenous People Association on this National Heroes Day. We call ourselves SIPA, and we are an umbrella group that brings together 5 Vincentians, local indigenous groups, including the Fancy Heritage Organization, the Sandy Bay Heritage Organization, the Oweah Heritage Organization, the Kalinago Tribe, and the Garifuna Indigenous People of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Together, we represent the indigenous people, but mostly those living north of the Rabaca River. Our role is to help promote, preserve the living traditions, knowledge, historical memory that reach further back than the colonial times and archives through our past. The theme of my remarks today is reclaiming our Indigenous heritage. For us, heritage is not merely something preserved in museums or remembered in commemorations like this. It is something lived every day in language, in craft, in agricultural knowledge, in music, and in the stories passed down through generations. It is the continuation of a people whose history did not begin with the colonial contact, nor end with the tragedies that followed it. The Indigenous story in St. Vincent and the Grenadines is one of extraordinary resilience. Our ancestors navigated oceans, cultivated lands, built communities, and resisted some of the most powerful colonial forces of their times. That resilience was grounded in deep and sophisticated knowledge systems. Our ancestors were skilled maritime navigators who not only understood the flow of the mighty Orinoco River that they traveled on out of South America, but understood the currents, the winds, and the waves of the Caribbean Sea and the mighty Atlantic Ocean. As they navigated from South America northward through all the islands of the Caribbean archipelago, they possessed incredible knowledge of natural medicine, drew from the forest and the mountains of this island. They observed the stars for orientation and seasonal changes. They cultivate crops that suited the land, and generations of horticulturists emanated from them. And they traversed a roadless island by foot through networks of trails known only intimately to them. They built canoes. They built homes that withstood the weather, the temperature, the winds. They had narratives to tell, but the achievement of my people, whose knowledge of land, sea, and community allowed them to thrive before colonial contact, was marginalized by the historians who dubbed us as savages and cannibals. How, for God's sake, can you do that to a people when by every indication we were more knowledgeable than they were? It comes down to marginalization, as I said. It is therefore fitting that our national heritage celebrations draw inspirations from stories of language, leadership, and resilience. The courage of those who defended this land, those especially our paramount chief, Joseph Chatoué, who has said to was ambushed and killed on this spot where we are. They built a foundation that all of us, not only the indigenous people of St. Vincent, but the Vincentians on a whole, should be proud of. Today, We also acknowledge the profound importance of representation. Minister Chevron John, a daughter of the Indigenous community of Owier, represents a powerful milestone. For generations, the North Windward communities, as I said before, experienced marginalization. We were often misunderstood, overlooked, or excluded from the national narrative. Yet, the resilience that sustained our people through those challenges has also produced leaders capable of shaping the future of this nation. With national heritage under her ministerial portfolio, she now carries the responsibility to speak directly to the preservation and interpretation of our country's history and identity. Therefore, we look forward with confidence to the role her ministry can play in ensuring that Indigenous heritage moves from the margins to the forefront of the national heritage agenda. Her leadership presents an important opportunity to strengthen the recognition, preservation, and celebration of Indigenous legacy that forms one of the oldest foundations of our nation's history. At SIPA, we believe heritage to be more than a remembrance of the past. It must also be a commitment to future. Our work focuses on cultural preservation, youth empowerment, historical education, and the strengthening of community institutions across the Indigenous communities of St. Vincent. We also recognize the safeguarding of heritage requires partnership with the responsible leadership in government, civil society, educators, international allies, as well as our returning Garifuna diaspora, who join us as valued partner in this work. Together, we share the belief that Indigenous heritage does not belong to one Indigenous group, and our cultures are not relics of the past, but vital and living contribution to the modern Caribbean. Moreover, National Heroes Day, as the focal point of National Heritage Month, invites all Vincentians to reflect on the many strands that form our cultural and collective identity. Among those strands, the Indigenous heritage of this land remains one of the oldest and most enduring. As we celebrate, let us remember that heritage is not simply what we inherited. It is what we choose to preserve and choose to honor, what we commit to pass forward. On behalf of SIPA, I thank you for joining in the recognition of that living heritage. May our shared commitment ensure this heritage continues to inspire generations to come. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Joan Hoyt. Please permit me at this point in time to also add to the protocol and to welcome here with us the Deputy Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, the Honorable Major Sinclair Leacock, as well as the Honorable Senator Chevron John, Minister of Social Welfare, Community Empowerment, Ecclesiastical Affairs, and National Heritage. Ladies and gentlemen, at this point in time, we have a very special cultural performance for you. I'd like to ask you to take your attention stage side as we now have a presentation by the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Drum Foundation.
Indigenous people, a mixture of Kalinago and Taino and West Africa mixed down into Garifuna, a people who live in this land and keep it independent and free. They practice the culture, the food, the dance, the language, the religion. A strong people, a courageous people. Who are we? A Garifuna people who have to fight and fight and fight to protect this land. This land you rule me. You have to fight against the colonizers because they wanted to take the land and kill off the people in this land. Who are we? A people who after years of fighting was captured by the colonizers right up in this area in Berkshire Hill. 5,000. They tried to kill off and take the land in the name of the King and Queen of England. But it was genocide and enslavement. And they banished 5,000 to Baliso, someone in the hills, someone in the mountain. 5,000 to Baliso, a place where nothing grows. Dry. People suffer disease. Eventually 2004 survived. They moved to Rotterdam and then they moved into Nicaragua, Guatemala, Belize and Honduras. Now we have proud Garifuna people who come back home to the land Yurumi.
I fought through
Once again, thank you very much to the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Drum Foundation, ladies and gentlemen. Let the sound of the drum and the voices of our people echo across St. Vincent and the Grenadines as we celebrate today for our paramount chief, national hero, Joseph Chatoyer. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a lot of representatives here, and we welcome them, our brothers and sisters of Urome who have traveled far and wide to be here with us today. Ladies and gentlemen, let me hear you. Come on, come on. I know as a descendants of our brother Chatoyer, we can do better than that. Urome, good morning. All right. At this point in time, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome Kalanique Durant. She is a representative of the Garifuna Heritage Foundations to bring us a few brief remarks, ladies and gentlemen. At this point in time, I'd like to ask the driver of RAA 206 to kindly check your vehicle, please.
Buiti Binafi, Hong Sung Girigia. Good morning to everyone. Permit me to acknowledge the established protocol. On this important occasion, on this important occasion, it is both an honor and a responsibility to bring greetings on behalf of the Garifuna Heritage Foundation as we gather at this sacred site, the Dorsetshire Hill Obelisk, to remember and honor our national paramount chief, Joseph Chatoyer. Today, we stand here not merely to remember history, but to affirm identity, dignity, and resilience. Chatoyer represents courage in the face of overwhelming power, the defense of land and people, and the enduring spirit of a nation that refused to disappear. Indeed, the story of Chatoyer reminds us that the Garifuna and the Kalinago peoples are not simply part of a distant past. They are an essential part of the story of St. Vincent and the Grenadines itself. And so, Vincentians today are part of a shared history shaped by Indigenous, African, and European influences. The culture, resilience, and identity of our nation were formed through these intertwined histories. Recognizing Garifuna and Kalinago heritage, therefore, goes beyond honoring one group. It is about respecting the foundation upon which this nation was built. For us, Garifuna people, this history is deeply personal. Our ancestors were removed from this land and scattered across Central America, yet their descendants continue to call this island by its ancestral name, Urome. Despite over 2 centuries of separation, St. Vincent and the Grenadines remains the spiritual homeland of the Garifuna people. Each year, Garifuna brothers and sisters return home to Urome. Their visits are not simply tourism. They are acts of reconnection with history, with culture, and with the land for which our ancestors fought and sacrificed. And today, we warmly welcome all visiting delegations to Urome. This is why the Garifuna Heritage Foundation has worked consistently to strengthen that connection through collaboration with the Ministry of Education, Ministry of Culture, and partners in both the public and private sectors. Among our flagship initiatives is the National Schools Garifuna Festival, which provides students across the country with an opportunity to engage with Garifuna history, music, dance, and traditions. Through this program, young people learn that Garifuna heritage is not only a story of the past, but a living cultural inheritance. The other major event hosted by the Foundation is our International Garifuna Conference. This year, 2026, the 13th edition of the conference was held in collaboration with the University of the West Indies Global Campus, SVG, under the theme Sacred Grounds, Strategic Goals, Inclusion, Reparations, Baliso, and the 2030 Pathway to Garifuna Empowerment. In addition, the foundation hosts a week of activities dedicated to Garifuna heritage, including film screenings, lectures, cultural exhibitions, and book launches that highlight the research, stories, and experiences of Garifuna people and Vincentian history more broadly. But at the heart of this, education remains one of the most powerful tools for preserving culture, and language is central to that effort. The Garifuna language carries our worldview, our stories, and our memory as a people. The foundation, therefore, continues to encourage the development of programs that promote the teaching and learning of the Garifuna language. And we are pleased to learn from the Honorable Prime Minister Godwin Friday that there will be more structured inclusion of the Garifuna language and cultural studies within the national education system. We are encouraged by the work already taking place in schools and communities. For example, at the Fancy Government School, cultural education is an active part of school life. Students are introduced to elements of the Garifuna language through songs and presentations during general assemblies. And that is why they were able to proudly perform the national anthem in Garifuna for you today. These programs show that cultural education is most powerful when it is lived, experienced, and shared within the community. At the national level, there are several important issues that continue to require our collective attention. One of these is the matter of reparations. The displacement of the Garifuna people and the injustices associated with colonization remain matters of historical significance and moral significance. The Garifuna Heritage Foundation supports the establishment of a working group, including regional and international experts, to guide meaningful dialogue and action on the questions of reparations. Another important matter is Baliso. Baliso is a place of profound historical significance for the Garifuna people. It was the site where thousands of our ancestors were detained under harsh conditions before being exiled from their homeland. The acquisition of Baliso by the government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines in 2025 was an important and historic step, and we can clap for that. Ceremony. The next phase is to ensure that its development honors its sacred history through thoughtful planning, consultation with Garifuna stakeholders, and the creation of meaningful memorial and educational programs for future generations. In that regard, we welcome the establishment of a Ministry of National Heritage, and we look forward to working with the Honorable Minister, Mrs. Siobhan John, in this. We also acknowledge the work done by the previous administration in advancing initiatives that support the recognition and promotion of Garifuna heritage. Cultural preservation must remain a national effort that transcends political lines, because the heritage we protect belongs to all Vincentians. Importantly, the Garifuna Heritage Foundation also reaffirms its willingness to collaborate with all organizations committed to its mission, including the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Indigenous Peoples Association, Inc., SIPA, and Garifuna Indigenous Peoples of SVG, GIP SVG. While our approaches may differ, our goal remains the same: the preservation and promotion of Garifuna heritage and identity. We are in many ways batting for the same team. And as we reflect on this moment, gathered here today beneath the monument that marks the place where Chatier made his final stand, we are reminded that history is not simply something we commemorate once a year. It is something we carry forward through education, culture, and collective responsibility. We carry it forward by teaching our children their history, We carry it forward by preserving our traditions. And we carry it forward by ensuring that the voices and stories of our ancestors continue to be heard. And so, as we continue this work of preserving heritage and strengthening identity, we do so with pride because Pantatiwa Garinagu Wama. We are proud to be Garinagu. Again, Pantatiwa Garinagu Wama. We are proud to be Garinagu. Seremi, thank you, and Ayo.
Thank you very much, Clarinique Durant of the Garifuna Heritage Foundation. I welcome to the podium now, ladies and gentlemen, the president of the International Garifuna Council, Mr. Garabali Pasanio.
Come on, what the beresit na how? Me beresit na how ha? Abidiet what ya ho ha? Haganya. Greetings, St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And we're speaking to the local community of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Greetings to you first and foremost. First Lady Friday, thank you for remembering my name, Garabali. That took an initiative, but because you cared, you remembered. Please give the First Lady a round of applause. We want to start off by quoting the Holy Scriptures. From small beginnings, great things can grow. Zechariah 4:10. We want to add to that, let's not be hypocrites who speak of unity and operate contrary to that. This is the only way that we can accomplish this end moving forward. Let's not spew out of our mouths unity and you tell me to shut up at the conference yesterday. You tell me to shut up at the conference yesterday. Don't speak of unity. Prime Minister, I'm not here for political correctness or political expediency. We want to thank God and thank our ancestors for paying the ultimate price. Great-grandfather Paramount Chief Joseph Chatoyer, Duvalier Chatoyer, for negotiating our survival. We commemorate you, great-grandfather Chief Joseph Chatoyer. Furuyate Garabali, Grandfather Chief Joseph Chatoyer was assassinated because he could not be bought. And because he could not be bought, he could not be sold. I'm speaking to you. You know who you are. The one who's been bought, you will soon be sold. We want to congratulate Prime Minister Godwin Friday and his administration on this political success. Please, let's give him a round of applause, because it took a couple of decades to make this happen. From small beginnings, Prime Minister, great things can grow. Since I'm coming from the United States of America and I was raised by African Americans, I also want to say rest in peace, Reverend Jesse Jackson. Reverend Jesse Jackson was the one who taught this black man, I'm black and I'm proud. So I stand here before you as a black, dark-skinned indigenous man and saying I am proud of that. Every African descendant and Caribbean American owe the African American community a contrite thank you. A contrite thank you because we have drank the soup of propaganda against our fellows. We've drank it. Let's not do this in modern times. So, Prime Minister, here we are 4 years later. Garifuna Heritage Foundation, 13 years later. We want to thank Prime Minister Ralph Gonsalves for what he has done in the past to bring us into the fourth with you, Prime Minister, Friday. Council General Rondi McIntosh as well. Ambassador Alan Carlos James. But I do want to say one thing. And again, I am not here for political correctness, sir. You may never invite me again. It's okay. I am disappointed that Dr. Ralph Gonsalves is not here. Because every single year that we've been here, Godwin Friday has been here. And I'm not gassing you up, sir. It ain't for the gas. We're making a very valid point of why this country is divided. And economic opportunities and struggles remain because of politics. Prime Minister Ralph Gonsalves, I look into this live television, sir. We wish you would have been here with us because some of our family members were looking forward to meeting you, but today they get to meet the Honorable Godwin Friday. In those 4 years, Baliso has been acquired by the government in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. There's a brand new prime minister, a brand new consul general. And we have gone, think about this, look about you. Every year we had like 50, 60 of us come into this country. There's over 150 of us this year. But if you don't hear what I'm saying now, the numbers are going down. It's me, Garabali. They could go up. But we have to stop being hypocrites, talking about unity and operating contrary to that. From small beginnings, great things can grow. In closing, Council General Ronald Matthews said to some of our members of the team, sir, that this administration is considering what's called a Garifuna desk. Yes? You see? Not everyone is clapping because not everybody like Garifuna, I'm telling you. Not everybody like me. Not everybody like us. Mabulego humatia, gibitete gigeya, misi tuatia home. There are people here who loathe us, telling me to shut up in public. Me. And when I try to touch her and say, sister, let's communicate, she said, don't. Okay. Not here for political correctness. Again, may never be invited again. I am publicly asking now Chief Sardo of the Kalinago, I am your brother. Please don't allow individuals to divide us. I've been calling you, I've been messaging you, but you have allowed individuals to divide potential. Please, I beg of you, Chief, I am your brother, which is why I brought you a gift, which is a knife that cuts asunder division. Chief Sardo, Garinagu, Nihata Habutiga, Kalinagu Ya. He is the chief of the Kalinagu here. Please give him a round of applause. I would also like to encourage my sister Joan Hoyt. It seems as the Garifuna people and the Carib people and the Kalinagu people have chosen her to lead you guys. So you guys have chosen Joan to lead you. Congratulations on that. She's a lawyer from the United States of America. She knows what she's doing. And I pray, Joan, that you and I can look eye to eye, because what we're here for is retrieval. And again, Chief Joseph Chatoye was a Garifuna. That's why he's the national hero. It's not about us as just Garifuna people. We know that there are other indigenous peoples here. I want to invite Garinagu Survival of Los Angeles, please come up with the drums. That's what's going to be next. Garifuna Survival, please come on up with the drums. This is what's coming up next. And if we could please get 5 chairs real quickly so that we could shut me up. Right here, cuz. 5 chairs, please. Hey, Lamutigu, what you little gari nagu agia? Aye, gari nagu agia. Gari nagu agia. My faith it was made here when that's you. Hey, aye, my faith it was my. My fadida wa my. As they wrap up, Dr. Gill, where you at? Dr. Gill. He got one. So let's say, this is political expediency here. Let's take advantage of the moment.
2 more. Let's see if we can get 2 more chairs. There's a chair right there.
All right, we're setting up. We appreciate your patience. You won't be disappointed. My cousin Georgette Lambe, my auntie Anita Martinez Lambe, and my cousin Chantel Garcia, they're going to be leading the way. But before we do that, come on, doctor, please. We want to yield 1 second to this man who was not invited, but asked.
Thank you. Buiti binafi son mutu.
Receive what?
Buiti binafi. I speak in the language of our ancestors. And when I speak in the language of our ancestors are listening to us in heaven.
Amen.
So good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
Buiti binafi.
Buiti binafi.
Receive what?
I'm speaking in the language of our indigenous people. And first of all, I'd like to warmly welcome our Garifuna brothers and sisters who have traveled and made that sacrifice to be with us here today. To the beloved Urumi. We are very grateful that they have preserved our heritage, language, traditions, culture, and our very unique civilization. Thank you. I would like to take this opportunity to thank Prime Minister Ralph Gonsalves. He's not here today, but my brother, you have done well, for championing the noble aspirations of our people. I would like to, even when the Carib was not fashionable. And I'd like to thank our Prime Minister, Dr. Godwin Friday, for taking up the baton to continue the reclamation and preservation of our heritage. I heard him said about 2 years ago that he can see Baliso from his home. I have plans for Baliso. And I do hope that you share those ideas with me. I hope that one day, before I pass on to the great beyond, from whence no travel has yet returned, that Baliso will become a UNESCO site where people from all over the world would come to visit this island, to see man's inhumanity to man and the resiliency of our people. UNESCO has already designated that the Garifuna culture is an intangible heritage and humanity, and that is a significant move of UNESCO, and I hope that this will occur. I want to make sure that it's very similar to the island off the coast of Senegal, Gorée Island, where 20 million of our African brothers and sisters were exiled to the New World to become slaves. In the spirit of our indomitable chief, may his spirit inspire us now and forever, and for generations yet unborn. And we say, Sereme, Sereme sun mutu, muchas gracias, au revoir, bonne chance, Saichen. Gracias.
With that said, we want to ask on that point, Prime Minister, we're going to ask when you come up here to make a commitment today, if you can, if you will, to support my leadership as the current coordinator of the Garifuna Heritage Rite of Passage from abroad, and the local team leader here, who is Sister Joan Hoyt, and also to include us in that commitment on the island of Baliso. We give you Auntie Anita Martinez.
Well, you're actually getting Dr. Chantel Garcia, her daughter, but we are very happy to be here. On behalf of Garifuna Survival Los Angeles, I'd like to say that this is a momentous occasion for us. I'd like to thank Dr. Kadrin Gill, who has always kept us posted on what was happening here in Urume, and we were excited for the international airport. We were looking forward to being the first plane to come here, but that wasn't to happen. It was supposed to happen how it is today. And so we're very happy to be here. We're going to start off with Waguchi Bungil, which is the Our Father in Garifuna. And then we'll go into Abe Mahani, which is a woman's a cappella song. It's usually performed during wakes and other rituals. And then we will do, I believe, a paranda. So with no further ado, it's going to be very fast, don't worry. With Abe Mahani, there are traditions. We have to do two. We can't do one, we have to do two. So we're going to do two today. Ready? Let's go. Oh, okay.
Atu
We're going to close with a hugga. This is the secular version of our ancestral dance during our rites of the dugu, but this is the secular version.
Mege wamale wabungurate. Mege wamale, mege wamale tatuyama. Mege rahiro hayume. Mege wamale wabungurate. Mege wamale, mege wamale tatuyama. Mege rahiro hayume. Mege wamale wabungurate. Mege wamale, mege wamale tatuyama. Nigga right here, hi, you're me. Burari banaga wa, you're making. Burari bawaga, eh. Buru lobane, wabungurate. Making him out to ne, wagi. Ah, burari banaga wa, you're making. Burari bawaga, eh. Buru lobane, wabungurate. Making him out to ne, wagi. Hey, bomba. Aruchuchu, ata, agaya. Fire, haya dugleto, walu hayna ya garina go walade. You may nege buga wagaira be. Bugara go hamuti wa harutia. You may nege buga wagaira be. Bugara go hamuti wa harutia. Eligi ya go waya be. Fire, haya dugleto, walu hayna ya garina go. Eligi ya go waya be. Fire, haya dugleto, walu hayna ya garina go walade. Burari banegetia wagaye lagi haya wayna go waba. Burari banegetia wagaye lagi waru haya wayna go waba. Burari go ya bibe. Fire, haya dugleto, walu hayna ya muyato. Ligi ya go waya bibe. Fire, haya dugleto, walu hayna ya muyato. Ukawa go wadu wa yuru make it. Ya wagairo. Ukawa go wadu wa yuru make it. Walu hayna ya wagairo. Ni aguli mo dona bimete ya bawapuna wabie mi agulimo dona cherte bimete ya bawapuna wabie urari banegeti ya wagaye agiweru hania wayuna kuwaba urari banegeti ya wagaye agiweru hania wayuna kuwaba urari banegeti ya anagawa yoromekele jo agiweru hania wayuna kuwaba Andoga wa yoro megele jo hagiweru hadi wa yuna kuwaba Andoga wa yoro megele jo hagiweru hadi wa yuna kuwaba Bomba Ata Gaya Ayaha Jumbo Le Sandit Roll up Le Masandit Le Bafedo Roll up Le Bafedo Bomba!
Thank you, thank you, thank you. No, see how we're doing it, guys. We gotta go. We've been kicked off the stage. Come on. We want to thank everybody. Thank you again. No, time is of the essence, and we took a little bit more time. So to the speakers and to the host, thank you very much.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, give them a round of applause as we celebrate today the remembrance of our paramount chief, Carib Chief Joseph Chatoyer. At this point in time, I'd like to welcome to the podium the Honorable Minister of Youth, Sports, Culture, and the Creative Industries. Please welcome the Honorable Kashaka Cupid.
Your Excellency, His Excellency, stand corrected, Stanley K. John, Governor General of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Honorable Dr. Godwin Friday, Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines and Mrs. Friday, Honorable Deputy Prime Minister Sinclair Major Leacock, Honorable Chevron John, Minister of Social Development, Senator Honorable Carlos James, other members of Cabinet, other members of Parliament, members of the Diplomatic Corps, Mr. Garibali Palacio, President of the International Garifuna Council, and other members of the Garifuna community, Mrs. Joan Hoyt, President of the SVG Indigenous Peoples Association, senior public servants, other special invited guests, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, Boiti Benafe, good morning. There's an old adage that says, people unaware of their past will certainly not know where they are going. As a child, I enjoyed listening to the program From Whence We Came, hosted by Dr. Adrian Fraser, because it was perhaps the only time we as Vincentians were able to get a much-needed time to reflect on our unique history. History books have long told stories of the savage Caribs who hunted and murdered the Arawaks. We shall tell a different story. We're gathered here at this site as a people who have grown to recognize and are proud of the contributions of the Kalinago, Garifuna, and other indigenous tribes We are here obviously to recognize the legacy of our first national hero, Paramount Chief Joseph Chatoyer. Whose love for his people and this beautiful island led to his death. But I want us to reflect today on something more, his indomitable legacy. I want us to ask ourselves a single question. Are we doing enough to honor this man and the men who fought so valiantly with him? I feel as if we're not. So today, as Minister of Culture, I pledge here that I will certainly do my best in collaboration with other members of the government to ensure that culture and history of the Garifuna people, the culture of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, it is not just a trip to the Obelisk on March 14th. When I look at the way the Garifuna people in the diaspora, especially those in Central America, have preserved our culture, I get a sense of jealousy, to be quite honest. I feel as if I'm obligated, as the Minister of Culture, to bring that culture back here to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. As the government, we have already begun the necessary talks to ensure that we here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines become deeper connected with our roots, led by our esteemed Prime Minister. Such a move will aid us in keeping our commitment to the United Nations Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous People. Let me pause here to recognize the organizers of the recent schools essay competition that focus on our Garifuna people. Let me take the opportunity to warmly congratulate the winners of the competition. First, in the category 1 for students aged 9 to 11 years, I am pleased to recognize Jeremiah Toussaint of the Fancy Government School for his outstanding achievement. And then for participants aged 12 to 18 years old, congratulations to Zamaya Lewis of the Georgetown Secondary School for emerging as the winner in that category. Now, education is the foundation of national development. And so, I was elated to see such an initiative. Allow me at this time to extend a personal invitation to the organizers of that essay competition to meet me to explore ways of improving the very old competition and its attractiveness. At the Ministry of Culture, we recognize that the task entrusted to us, especially those that are affected the preservation of our rich culture, could never be achieved without collaborative efforts with other ministries. For instance, we work closely with the Ministry of Diaspora Affairs, headed by the Honorable Fitzgerald Bramble. Partnership at the ministerial level is important, but what is needed to sustain projects is community buy-in. Our yearly activities here at the Obelisk might not be as successful as they are without the effort of the people who live around here in this particular area, the people of Dorsetshire Hill. The community members who play a vital role in protecting these facilities from the acts of vandalism while helping to ensure that the maintenance requirements remain minimal. I extend my sincerest appreciation to Mr. Leo Gibson, who I'm told who we can see does an impeccable job of maintaining and caring for these particular grounds in which we stand here today. Our intention as a government is to improve these facilities by adding washroom facilities, benches, and a small garden and a souvenir shop. And I'm quite willing to sit with Chief Augustine Sutherland, as I am sure he too has ideas for development of this area, to ensure that the focus remains on the respected Paramount Chief Joseph Chatelier and his contribution to national development. Chief Augustine and his tribe have over the years been an integral part of activities here at the Obelisk. Their participation is not merely ceremonial, it is an expression of their indigenous identity and heritage, and we thank them deeply for their efforts. I will end the way I started. People who do not know their history will not be able to effectively map their future. A few years ago, protesters right here on the very streets of Kingston were arrested for beating drums. It was a moment that shocked many of the conscious minds of our nation. Not only is drumming a part of our African legacy, it is also part of the legacy we enjoy from our indigenous people. Let us never again attack our culture in such a manner. Our stories of our national hero, Paramount Chief Joseph Chatelier, should not only be stories of wars, but stories of a rich cuisine, rituals, festivities, and opportunities to relive those experiences at the school level and the community level. Let us continue to honor the sacrifices of our ancestors by building a society grounded in cultural pride, rooted in identity, and united with solemn purpose. Hail to the Chief, Joseph Chatelier. He lives in all of us. Bungi boom, Sirme. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Minister. I'd like to welcome to the podium now the Honorable Senator Carlos James on behalf of the Leader of the Opposition, who is not here with us today. Please, ladies and gentlemen.
Your Excellency, Stanley John Casey, the Governor General, Honorable Prime Minister, Dr. Godwin Friday, Members of Parliament, present and former, members of the Diplomatic Corps, descendants of our indomitable Garifuna ancestors, we welcome you home here with us to Yorubay. Fellow Vincentians here at home and in the diaspora. As we observe this important and historic day, National Heroes Day 2026, and its accompanying Heritage Month of activities, we do so under the shadow of the obelisk here at Dorsetshire Hill. It was on this hallowed ground, on this very day in 1795, that the Right Excellent Paramount Chief Joseph Chate made the ultimate sacrifice for our sovereignty. We stand here not merely to perform a ritual of remembrance, but to affirm a covenant of our resistance. We do so in our communities, from the steadfast spirit of the indigenous communities of North Windward to the resilient shores of North Leeward, and in the south, the unwavering drums echoing in Union Island. Recognizing that our story is a living, breathing narrative written in the sweat and blood of those who refused to be subjects. The theme for this year's observance, appreciating our identity, preserving our heritage with pride, is a clarion call to every Vincentian. Far too long, the forces of history have sought to dilute our very essence. From our lost indigenous language to our traditional ways of life. But today, we see a cultural revival and awakening in this pilgrimage home to Urumé and our Garifuna Heritage Foundation's tireless work to ensure we are never lost in the currents. Chate's struggle was the first light of our liberation. He was the first to declare that this land belongs to its people, not as a gift from a distant empire, but as a birthright. He understood that the fight for Urumé was the beginning of the manifestation of something greater than him. It was a fight for our survival, our dignity, and our autonomy. As we reflect on our identity, tomorrow we'll make the sacred pilgrimage to the shores of Baliso, a site of profound suffering and even more profound resilience. We must treat Baliso as a solemn space, a reminder of the attempted annihilation of our people that failed because the spirit of the Garifuna remains unbroken, unshaken, and unstoppable. We celebrate the historic reclamation of Baliso as a triumph of our people. We salute the unwavering advocacy of our Garifuna Heritage Foundation and many of our brothers and sisters who are gathered here this morning. Of course, on the decisive action taken by the ULP government in pursuing its legal acquisition under the Land Acquisition Act of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Through this legal process, we have secured a sacred site of remembrance, ensuring that Baliso is preserved as a national patrimony. It is now a permanent monument to our legacy, identity, and shared heritage. Today, as we navigate the unsettling big power rivalries and the dangerous state of the world we live in, we must channel that same Chate-like resolve. The world around us is in flux. categorized by a certain hegemonic restlessness that seeks to reduce small states as mere pawns on the geopolitical chessboard. We must protect our dignity and our sovereignty with the same fierce tenacity that Châtelet exhibited in our country's first revolution. Our resilience has been tested, but yet in every occasion, as Vincentians, we rise. We have risen from the ashes of La Soufrière. We have risen from the devastation of Hurricane Beryl. And these are not just natural events. They are reminders of our vulnerability and our strength. They teach us that while the winds may howl and the earth may tremble, the Garifuna spirit remains unbowed. We have entered turbulent times with a broken global political economy that erodes small island exceptionalism, pushing us closer to the periphery of dismalness and global instability marked by widespread conflict. We must stand and fight against neo-colonialism in all its forms and assert our right to sovereignty, territorial integrity, and self-determination. As such, we must always aim to promote peace, show solidarity with our brothers and sisters, as in the case of Cuba and Venezuela, even despite external pressure. There are moments in the history of a nation where silence is not merely an absence of sound, it is an abandonment of our duty. Recently, we have witnessed a grave violation of our sovereignty and a total disregard for our sanctity and of human life within our own territorial waters. The reported extrajudicial executions of Caribbean nationals are a direct assault on the international rule of law and the fundamental principles of due process. A responsible government should not and must not remain silent while our sovereignty is compromised and our territorial waters treated as a theater of lawlessness. So too, the forced acceptance of third country deportees is a profound affront to our sovereignty, our borders, and our borders are not a disposal zone for the migration failures of foreign powers. Our voice must never remain silent. Our spirit must never be compromised. And our leaders must act courageously like leaders. Our sovereignty is not a negotiable commodity, and the protection of our people is not a discretionary exercise. It is the fundamental principle by which we must all ascribe. Our voices must never be muted. My brother Palacio said someone told him to be silent, but our voices must never be muted, and our actions must be uncompromising when we speak up for what is just, what is moral, and what is simply right. We must use our voices to speak truth to power on behalf of the marginalized. We must stand against weaponizing of the global financial architecture, including the use of unilateral sanctions against developing nations and the advancement of the poor. We must remain relentless in demanding reparations from European nations for the legacy of native genocide and the enslavement of African bodies. This is not a request for a charity. It is a demand for reparatory justice for the historical wrongs that continue to underwrite the wealth of a few and the poverty of the many. We call for the healing and repair of the deep-seated socioeconomic scars of colonialism, enabling a future that is defined by equity rather than exploitation. We must stand resolute in our commitment to the CARICOM 10-point plan, a starting point for achieving reparatory justice and systemic repair of our region. We commend former Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves on his appointment as a senior advisor to the repair campaign. This role perfectly aligns with his lifelong dedication of achieving reparatory justice and aligns most notably with his instrumental leadership in the crafting of and championing of the CARICOM 10-point plan on reparatory justice. The work has only just begun. I want to close by citing the writings of Franz Fanon, who eloquently puts it, each generation must discover its mission, fulfill it, or betray it. I would add to this point, it must find its purpose and its mission in the context of its time. Let us do so with a renewed sense of pride. Let us wear our heritage not just as a clothing, but metaphorically as a statement of who we are as a people. As we lay these wreaths, let the scent of the flowers be a reminder of the sweetness of freedom, and the hardness of the stone beneath us a reminder of the permanence of our resolve. The struggle for true sovereignty continues. Long live the people's struggle for self-determination, social justice, reparations. Long live the legacy of Chate. May God continue to bless the people of Yorome. May God continue to bless you, the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Long live Chate.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, as we try to move swiftly with the showers of blessing that we are about to receive here, I would like to go straight into our next cultural performance. Of course, this will be a performance by the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Dance Ensemble, to be followed by a performance by Lonette Fire Empress Ned. So as the showers of rain come, let's hope that we will be able to go straight into those performances. And of course, following that, we'll have the feature speaker here this morning.
Some say it's natural, organic yet tribal, elemental, naked, raw and animal, enchanting and rhythmic, Be with you like magic. Airy and some mystic. The roots, pulse of our music. From the belly of the Congo we came. Daring and fearless is we name. Some say your skin darker than night. Mere mortal shiver at her sight. The red for the melanin, shade and color of our skin. Some are terrified, of course, by the texture and the gloss, the kinkiness of our hair, all the ethnic clothes we wear. The respect you see, the African in me, my identity, guides my destiny. Natural majesty, you remain me. So though they call me black, stronger yes are coming back. Look out, here we come, children of the drum. Behold the power of the African rhythm. Whoa. Some say we look savage, like we out to ravish. Though we could do damage, fear we don't like advantage. Righteous is on it, yeah. We don't play no hater. We respect our maker. Oh God, the one true Jaja. From the bowels of creation we came. Daring and all mankind is a fame. Behind fables and fairy tales they hide. With the slave trade and wicked appetite. They still for the melanin, shade and color of our skin. Some are terrified, of course, by the texture and the gloss, the kinkiness of our hair, all the ethnic clothes we wear. The respect you see, the you remain me. My identity, guides my destiny. Natural majesty, you remain me. Don't call me no banshee. I mix with what to see. Aye, aye. Time drums start to roll. Waistline lose control. Watch and you will see the African in me. I am beyond capture. Freedom is with nature. Aye, aye. Something deep inside moves me like a tide. Watch and you will see the African. Simple thing I want you to say. Listen to me. Who dey, yo? Who dey, yo? The rhythm in me. Supreme majesty. Natural majesty. You remain in me. Thank you.
Folks, we are thankful for the rain this morning because we might have been standing up here today in blistering hot sun, but somebody up there is showering us with blessings and we know exactly who that are. That's our ancestors for you, ladies and gentlemen. So we are thankful for today. Of course, we say thank you very much to Lonette Fire Empress Ned for that wonderful performance. We should be having, of course, the young ones from the VINCENT Dance Ensemble giving us a presentation, but obviously because of the rain, we don't want the young ones to to get wet. They're more susceptible to cold than maybe we are, where we big and grown, we can handle some of the little wetness. So I think what I will do, I know we do have here next on the program the Honorable Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I don't know if he may want to brave the weather with the assistance of my good friend here with the umbrella. But I don't think Mrs. Friday would want him to get sick at this point in time. So I would just ask us just to exercise a little patience, as we hope that this is just a passing cloud, as we notice the wind is allowing the system to just move behind of us. So as it eases up a little bit, of course, we'll try and see if we can bring up the performances from the young ones, and then we'll go straight into the feature address by the Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So please, just bear a little patience with us due to the weather. Thank you.
Garifuna lives. Garifuna lives. We will tell the whole wide world Garifuna lives. B. Baliso, the uninhabited Grenadine Isle, where our ancestors were shipped to and left for dead. A. We honor our ancestors with prayers, jams, tears, by our sweat and through our determination. L. Through all these struggles, they still try to erase the entire Garifuna culture, our way of life. But this land is ours. This is our culture, and we must fight to maintain it.
L. We are alive. This land of Baliso is sacred. Let's show respect for this cultural legacy. Let's fight for our language. Let's fight for our land.
It is our story, and it is we who have the interesting facts of our indigenous people. Let's share the facts with others.
Portchester. It wasn't only Baliso. Our Garifuna people were prisoners of war in Portchester. Yes, Portchester Castle in Britain. They struggled in the rough, cold, treacherous seas in Portchester. They truly were the last generation of Garifuna heroes, whilst the others were forced to take that diasporic journey to Central America, to include Belize, Guatemala, Northern Island of Honduras, from Obelisk.
C. They tried to control us, but through our resilience, we conquered.
E. We are an expressive people. Let's not be afraid to express the true meaning of our heritage.
A. We have the ability. Yes, it's time for action.
U. You have to remember, we have to remember where we came from so we can better understand who we are. Let's not forget our roots.
Oh, Baliso. Oh, Garifuna.
X. And yes, we are the real deal. It's our story. One of the most moving cultural experiences our region has to offer.
Oh, Baliso. Oh, Portchester too. Long live our Garifuna heritage.
From this land of Baliso, our ancestors toiled, our ancestors perished. Let's reflect on this sacred ground.
So yang wayura yang wayahua la dega sufuri logo ubo baliso yang wayura yang wayahua la dega sufuri abahacha garuniwa inglesi loago baliso lohago mocha guagedemiwa idalu bagi wadang rene wagara wong lida fula solira abahacha garuniwa inglesi loago baliso lohago mocha guagedeniwa ida lubagi wadang rene wagara wong lida fula solira so yang wayura yang wayahua la dega sufuri loago ubo baliso yang wayura yang wayahua la dega sufuri abahacha garuniwa inglesi loago baliso lohago mocha guagedeniwa dalu bagi wadang rene wagara wong lida fula solira Abahacha garuniwa inglesi loago baliso lohago mocha guagedeniwa Ida lubagi wadang rene wagarawong lida fula sulira Di mure wa mahon isanigo Luagu hasiguru wa yunago Yara hageira songari nago Yurume Di mure wa mahon isanigo Luagu hasiguru wa yunago Yara hageira songari nago Yurume Mapulida wa me Wala misero Sosi wala Ida sufulaso Apulenda wame Wala misero Sosi wala Ida sufulaso
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, come on, give them a round of applause. That is the Vinci Dance Ensemble. And again, just permit us as we just take a short pause for, once again, for the weather to break here, for the little drain to break here for us. Again, of course, joining us next on the program will be the feature presentation by the Honorable Prime Minister. But again, as we just wait for a moment for the rain to pass, just give us a moment, ladies and gentlemen. Check. 1, 2. All right. And as we now have some wonderful sunshine, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's fine time for us to take this opportunity as quickly as we can. Please, a round of applause and welcome to the podium. I invite now the Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Dr. the Honorable Godwin Friday. PJ 133, can you kindly move your vehicle now, please? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Colin, and thank you so much to all you wonderful people who are here today. Your Excellency, Stanley John, Governor General of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, my cabinet colleagues, members of parliament, members of the diplomatic corps, Mr. Garibali Palacio, President of the International Garifuna Council. I see you, my brother, I hear you. The members of the Garifuna community, Ms. Joan Hoyt, President of the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Indigenous Peoples Association, Incorporated, public servants, senior public servants who are here, members of the police force, specially invited guests, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen. My Garifuna brothers and sisters who traveled from far to be here with us today, a special welcome to you. Well, it turns out it's a very beautiful day. Whether it rains or not, this is part of who we are. And to be honest, over there in Beckby, I'm hoping that it's pouring, because we have a little dry weather going on there. Today is truly a day worthy of celebration. Though historians tell us this is the place where our national hero, Paramount Chief Joseph Chatoyer, was killed, we celebrate nonetheless. We celebrate not because he was killed. We celebrate because of why he was killed. We celebrate because he and the Garifuna warriors he led, they fought relentlessly and died to defend our land, to defend their freedom. The same land that we now enjoy and call our home. We celebrate the spirit of Chatoyer and the people who stood up in the face of overwhelming numbers of British soldiers. Such courage was stoked by their love of their country and their people, a love that has survived their death and has transcended enormous distances in time and place, and yet flourishes within us, the children of Chatoyer. It is critical for us to make the connection with the tragic events that occurred here over 2 centuries ago in this land and this place, here on this hill. We may never know the full story of what happened here over 230 years ago, because history is told by the victors. And there is no doubt that the British colonialists were the victors then. And so for centuries, the story they told and that we were taught in our schools celebrated their conquest and their victory. In that story, Chatelier was not a hero. In that story, the indigenous people of this land were not freedom fighters, defending what was rightfully theirs. They were not the protagonists. And what we were taught and the rest of the world were told was that they, the indigenous people, were the problem. And why? Because they refused to allow interlopers to take their land and to deny them their sovereignty. Over the years, centuries, we came to know that story well and even told it ourselves. We had accepted it as our own. However, the tables have turned. And the colonial ambitions, that colonial ambition that triumphed centuries ago, is a fact of history. And the evidence is still manifest in our society today. But without firing a shot, we won our national independence in 1979. The economic payoffs that for centuries had locked European nations in a state of near constant warfare with one another, and that had led to the extermination of entire indigenous societies in the Caribbean, save one, had ceased to exist. So, Britain, the colonial power, retreated quietly. And since then, with greater urgency and a sense of purpose, we have been telling our own story. One that places Chatelier in his rightful place as hero. Also, it is a story that recognizes the true nature of the Garifuna struggle against the Europeans as one of self-defense, including the defense of their dignity as a free people, of their entitlement to the land they had hitherto possessed, and of their sovereignty. The early European missionaries and other witnesses of the day had observed and recorded the Garifuna's unrivaled assertion of their freedom and their determination to protect it at all costs. The recognition of that character in the indigenous people should have persuaded the Europeans, especially the British, to abandon their quest, leaving the land to its rightful owners. But such was not the logic of imperialism, nor did the Christian morality prevail. Instead, they chose the disastrous course of war genocide, and exile. As I have said before, we are fortunate that we can speak of the Garifuna, our indigenous people, not only in the past tense, but also in the present. That is a testament to their resilience, and it is a story of survival that rivals any in human history. It is a tragic, yet hopeful and uplifting story. It speaks of unimaginable loss, but also, more importantly, it speaks of survival. We in St. Vincent and the Grenadines are fortunate not only to have the ability to tell our own story, but to have the opportunity to retrieve and rebuild our Garifuna culture here and make it more and more part of our story. I believe it is not only desirable that we do so, it is necessary. When we consider the proud history of the struggles of the Kalinago and Garifuna against colonial aggression, we feel sadness and a sense of loss. So much suffering, so much harm was inflicted on the indigenous people. For those who were allowed to remain, their culture and freedom were suppressed. For those removed, their estrangement from their homeland caused untold pain and spiritual disruption and yearning. We can do something today to mitigate the damage and repair much of what was broken. We in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, we have the unique opportunity to retrieve much of the culture from the descendants of the exiled Garifuna and to reestablish it here, shaping our national character. For our Garifuna diaspora, Yorome is a place of welcome and spiritual healing. We all have so much to gain from our reconnections. Let us build on the effort that started in earnest less than 2 decades ago. The delegations of Garifuna who returned from year to year have grown from a mere 16 in around 2009. And I am told, as I heard my brother said today, over 150 this year. We should clap for that. You have come from Belize, Honduras, Guatemala, Nicaragua, directly or via the United States of America. I met many of you at the reception on Thursday evening. What a great event that was. And what a wonderful time we had. Thank you so much for your embrace, for your friendship, and for the many photographs that we took. My cheeks are still a little sore from smiling. Something beautiful is happening in our land. I am happy that so many of you came this year. I look forward to increasing numbers next year and thereafter. To our Garifuna brothers and sisters, I say again, welcome home. Let us teach and learn from one another. Last Wednesday, I attended the opening of the 13th annual Garifuna Conference at the University of the West Indies Global Campus. I welcome this conference. Our government supports it fully, and we look forward to continued partnership. I believe this is a unique event, and more than anyone else, we should recognize that and should benefit from it and appreciate it. It is something that we gave not just to ourselves, but to the world. Academic scholarship is critical for writing history and correcting errors of fact and interpretation of the past. In that vein, I welcome the recent publication of A History of St. Vincent and the Grenadines by my former history teacher, Dr. Adrian Fraser, and my former classmate, Dr. Gary Denny, and my friend, Dr. Cleve Scott. We look forward to its formal launching next week. It is important not only for us here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and to our Garifuna diaspora, it is also important for the world. For Indigenous people exist today not as problems to be solved. They coexist with so-called modern societies. We acknowledge the inherent value of Indigenous cultures, and we appreciate their uniqueness and embrace the ways in which they enrich our human story. Let us do our part here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines by doing all we can to rebuild that culture and language here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. My government, and you heard that from the Minister of Culture, we will promote the teaching of the Garifuna language in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. That language has been recognized by UNESCO as a cultural heritage and must be revived and developed here. After all, Urumi, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, is the home of that language because it is the birthplace of the Garifuna people. It is therefore only natural for us to speak our language here. That we are unable to do so now is because of our painful history you've heard a lot about today and throughout the conference. But as I said earlier, we have the opportunity to correct that. Ministers John, not Chevron John, and Minister Cupid and I have discussed with members of the Garifuna delegation the possible ways of doing this. Current efforts to teach the language in our schools and in social organizations are commendable and are the result primarily of individual initiative. But we can do much more. If we are to achieve the desirable goal of making it a central part of our culture and national identity, we must teach it in our schools as an essential subject. Our government will work towards that end, and we invite partners to help us in that noble quest and to make it possible as soon as we can. Further, we must promote Garifuna culture and arts and traditions and dance and spirituality here in its birthplace. This will be a long-term project of reclaiming our heritage that will help us to define who we are as a people. If it is done effectively, it will become a source of pride, that is national pride, and a strength of our people, especially for the survivors of the Kalinago and Garifuna living here. I believe that our identity as a nation is incomplete without the Garifuna language and culture being an explicit part of it. We as government intend to engage with the Garifuna Heritage Foundation and other stakeholders to do so. Now we heard about the status of Baliso. In opposition, we supported the acquisition of Baliso. In government, we will forward that process and we will work towards making it the shrine and the place of reverence that we all want it to be. Yesterday, in that regard, Minister Chevron John and Minister Cupid and I had very fruitful and enlightening discussions with members of the Garifuna delegation and the Garifuna Heritage Foundation and others present in the cabinet room at my office in Kingstown. It confirmed that there is so much for us to learn and so much willingness to engage in that process. One of the topics that we discussed was Baliso. Our government is committed to the acquisition in the proper manner and to regard this island as a sacred place. It is a place of reflection and spiritual healing for the Garifuna. Many of you will journey there. I believe it's tomorrow to pay respects and to reflect. I wish you peace. We all will have opportunity to contribute to the conversation about what happens and develops there. I look forward to that. What we must all agree is that anything that is done in Baliso must be respectful and solemn. As a government, we are willing to engage with other stakeholders to chart the way forward. As I said, the Minister of National Heritage, the Honorable Chevron John, will happily take the lead for us to conduct such consultations with stakeholders, including the Garifuna groups abroad, the Heritage Foundation, the St. Vincent and the Grenadines National Trust, and the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Indigenous Peoples Association, to determine what a sacred space in Baliso will look like. I look forward to working together to get this done. I do believe that out of that horrific experience, something positive will come. I believe we can and should make Baliso more than a sacred graveyard of national importance. It can become globally significant, and my brother Dr. Gill mentioned a process. Globally significant as a monument that stands against oppression, against imperialism, against cultural genocide. It can serve as a manifest expression of our commitment as a nation to always stand for human dignity and the recognition of people's national sovereignty, for resilience in the face of overwhelming odds, for equality among people, no matter race, culture, or economic condition. Baliso will also stand as a prominent beacon for the cause of reparations for Native genocide. The cause of reparations cannot be denied. We will continue to join our voices with those of others to make that call louder and more focused. I hope that we will soon come to the point where we agree on how to pursue that and how to deliver reparations. Now, at the reception that we had on Thursday night for our brothers and sisters who came to visit with us, who came to break bread with us, one of the speakers, the president of the Indigenous, the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Indigenous Peoples Association, urged that the government end the marginalization of the North, where the most Garifuna communities are. I agree, this must be done. And we have already started. If you look in our manifesto before we got elected, you will see that our government is committed to a plan for the development of the north of the country that includes investment in roads and infrastructure, in healthcare facilities, in reviving agriculture, in niche and wellness tourism, in sporting facilities for the youth, and in building the economy there. Because dignity comes from also being able to feed your family. It's being able to make ends meet. It's being able to stand on your own 2 feet. And we know that that is a heritage of our ancestors. We believe that equity and equality demands it. As we must do more than talk, we must take action. And so that is what, as a government, we have committed to do. In a manner of how we approach things, not by pronouncements necessarily, but by engagement. Because we believe that our voice should not always be the loudest, that there are people who have been toiling in the vineyard of causes that many of us as politicians may not even have been aware of. And so, when the matter comes to be decided, they will all be a part of that process. Much has been said about our Garifuna spirit. I want to urge us all to learn from the example of the Garifuna ancestors. Take their indomitable spirit as our guide going forward. In this time, we have many challenges confronting us, but none greater than those faced by the man we honor here today and the warriors who fought with him to defend our land. They gave their lives. We are asked to do much less, but still important work. So, in the spirit of Chatoyer and the Garifuna ancestors, let us develop a strong community spirit. Engage in volunteer work in your villages and your organizations. Shed the cynicism that sometimes prevent people from becoming involved, and be a part of that positive spirit of change. To our youth, I say, in the spirit of Chatoyer and our Garifuna ancestors, turn your minds to positive community building endeavors and reject the dazzle of a criminal lifestyle. Gang activities is a Hobbesian proposition, nasty, brutish, and short. To our teachers and public servants, we need you more now than ever. In the spirit of Chatoyer and our Garifuna ancestors, lift your game and provide your best service. Don't copy the examples of the poor workers. Be good examples for others to follow. In the spirit of Chatoyer and the Garifuna ancestors, I ask the business people, our farmers, fishers, vendors, our professionals, do likewise. Let us all do better and make this place truly worthy of the sacrifices of our ancestors. There is no day better than today to make that commitment. Our country relies on all of us to be like Chatoyer, to be heroes. Each of us has it within us. Now, in conclusion, you in the shade, I in the sun. I came here to deliver a message. I came here not to carry a message. I came as a representative of the people and representing no one else. I want you to say today that this is a day on which you will recommit yourself to doing what you know in your heart is right, to doing what you know you can do to better your community, to do it for your neighbors, to do it for your family, to do it for yourself, to do it when people are watching, and to do it especially when no one is paying attention. Do it because it is the right thing to do. Enjoy the festivities today, our National Heroes Day. Look out for one another. Think of and embrace the things that bind us together as a people. Those who live on these sacred rocks, those of our brothers and sisters in our diaspora, those who return from time to time to reconnect, we are all one people. I will be going on to celebrate, to partake as well. I always look forward to the madongo bakes and some fried fish. I'm sure many of us here will. I want to thank you all, those who organize this event, the wonderful conference that we have taken part in, and the celebration that we saw here today. The dances, not just the dances, but the feeling, the passion, the genuineness of the dances. It was not a performance. It was an expression of who they are. My brother, Minister of Culture, said he was jealous. Well, I say this is something that we can experience and bring back here to this country. And we ask you to help us to do so. Let us celebrate today. Be safe. And God bless us all. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Folks, as we move along with the program, and we hope that the weather continues to be as beautiful as it is at this present moment, I'd like to welcome Miss SVG 2024, Ms. Zeta Stevens, to give us the citation, which will be followed by a 21 gun salute, and then we'll have the official Wreath-Laying ceremony.
Buweti Banafi. Today, we gather to honor the Right Excellent Paramount Chief Joseph Chatoyer. He died in this area, a fighter for self-determination and independence. This defender of Garifuna was ambushed and killed on March 14, 1795. Chatoyer led the Garifuna people in guerrilla campaigns against the invading French and British for several years in the latter part of the 1700s. He won most of his battles as he was a brilliant military strategist. He was a world-class diplomat, and most importantly, he was and still is today loved and respected by his people. In commemoration of the life and struggles of this, the greatest son of our Vincentian soil, March 14th is celebrated as National Heroes Day. In 2001, this day was declared by proclamation. An act of parliament followed. Acting on the advice of then Prime Minister Dr. the Honorable Ralph E. Gonsalves, and in accordance with sections 11 and 12 of the Order of National Heroes, Act No. 7 of 2002, His Excellency, the Governor General, at the time, Sir Charles Antrobus, conferred the Order of National Hero upon the Right Excellent Paramount Chief Joseph Chatoyer. So, it was formalized from March 14, 2002, that he is our nation's first national hero. Nguya Garifuna, hail Chatoyer, hail Garifuna.
We now have the 21-gun salute, and then we'll go straight into our Wreath-Laying. Ladies and gentlemen, at this point in time, we'll go into the official Wreath-Laying at the base of the Obelisk. I'd like to welcome at this point in time His Excellency Stanley K. John, KC, Governor General of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, to lay the first wreath. invite the Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Dr. the Honorable Godwin Friday. We invite now Deputy Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, the Honorable Major Sinclair Leacock. We invite now the Honorable Senator Carlos James on behalf of the Leader of the Opposition. We welcome now the Minister of Youth, Sports, Culture and Creative Industries, the Honorable Kashaka Cupid. We welcome now the Honorable Chevron John, Minister of Social Welfare and Community Empowerment, Ecclesiastical Affairs and National Heritage. We invite now Her Excellency Fiona Fan, Ambassador of the Republic of China on Taiwan to St. Vincent and the Grenadines and Dean of the Diplomatic Corps. We welcome now His Excellency Carlos Ernesto Rodriguez Echenverry, Ambassador of the Republic of Cuba to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. We welcome now His Excellency Francisco Manuel Perez Santana, Ambassador of the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. We welcome now Resident Commissioner Mr. Steve Moore, the British High Commission. We invite now the Commissioner of Police of the Royal St. Vincent and the Grenadines Police Force, Mr. Envel Williams. And we welcome now Mr. Major Philip Cambridge on behalf of the St. Vincent Cadet Force. We welcome now from the Garifuna Heritage Foundation, Mrs. Veronique Durant. We welcome now the leader of the Rite of Passage of Pilgrimage delegation, Mr. Garibali Palacio Lambi. welcome now Miss Marianne Nero of the Kalinago tribe. And we now welcome, on behalf of the St. Vincent Girl Guides Association, Zeniel Kwashi. Representing the Green Hill 4-H Club, please welcome now Nikasha Johnson. So we'd now like to welcome Chita Maki, the representative of the Green Hill 4-H Club. And we now invite Miss Keisha Johnson of Geku. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Let me take this opportunity and issue a formal apology to the British High Commission for the wrong pronunciation of the name, or should I say, the wrong person being mentioned at that name. So my humblest apologies to, of course, Mr. Geoff Patton of the British High Commission. We will move along, ladies and gentlemen. At this point in time, we want to thank each and every one of you for being here. I take this opportunity to say thank you very much to the Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, of course, the Governor General, His Excellency, Mr. Mr. Stanley K. John KC. Of course, we say thank you very much to the Honorable Sinclair Major Leacock, Deputy Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Senator the Honorable Carlos James on behalf of the Leader of the Opposition, the Honorable Kakshaka Cupid, Minister of Youth, Sports, Culture, and the Creative Industries. We say thank you very much to the Honorable Chevron John, Minister of Social Welfare, Community Empowerment, Ecclesiastical Affairs, and National Heritage. Her Excellency Fiona Fan, Ambassador of the Republic of China on Taiwan, St. Vincent and the Grenadines. His Excellency Carlos Ernesto Rodriguez Inerchivi, Ambassador of the Republic of Cuba to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. His Excellency Franco Manuel Perez Santana of the Embassy of the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela. Resident Commissioner of the British High Commission, Mr. Geoff Patton. Mr. Enville Williams, Commissioner of Police of the Royal St. Vincent and the Grenadines Police Force, and all other officials and dignitaries who laid wreaths here today. We say thank you very much to all the performers who performed here today, and of course to each and every one of you who traveled far and wide to be here today as we pay homage and respect to our national hero, Paramount Chief Joseph Chatouillet. To the members of the media, or the members of the diplomatic corps, family, friends, brothers and sisters of Urumi, we thank you so very much for being here with us today. Enjoy the rest of the festivities. And of course, Cornelius Gibson, we must say special thanks to Mr. Cornelius Gibson. He is responsible for maintaining the grounds here and keeping it, of course, in pristine condition. And to each and every one of you, to all of our viewers here, locally, abroad, regionally, internationally, thank you very much for joining us here on National Heroes Day. Do have a wonderful day and enjoy the rest of the day, ladies and gentlemen. God bless and thank you.
and Instagram at BC3TV. Thank you for watching this live brought to you by VC3 TV, your sports and culture network. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Instagram at VC3 TV. Thank you for watching this live brought to you by VC3 TV, your sports and culture network. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Instagram at VC3 TV.
Thank you so much for watching this live broadcast. Compliments VC3 TV. Don't forget to follow us on our social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at VC3 TV.